So I'm down here in Florida on a family vacation, frying like a lobster and reading this book, Works of Love by Søren Kierkegaard. I found this passage and I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and so I'm going to read it to you. As the strong and domineering individual seeks only his own, so it is also with small-mindedness, envious domineering, cowardly, fearful small-mindedness. What is smallness? Is small-mindedness an intrinsic characteristic? That is any human being brand new from God's hand small-minded? No. Small-mindedness is the creature's own miserable invention when, neither in genuine pride nor in genuine humility, or humility before God is genuine pride, it behaves as if God were also small, as if he could not stand individuality, and it thereby debases God, who in love gives everything, and nevertheless gives everything individual characteristics. Small-mindedness must not be confused with modest gifts, or with what we men small-mindedly call insignificance. Consider such an insignificant person. If he has had courage to be himself before God, he has authentic individuality. But in truth, such an insignificant person, but what am I saying? Such a nobleman is certainly not small-minded. One should carefully watch out for this confusion, and in this way one will not confuse unsophisticated, noble simplicity, which does not understand much, with petty narrowness, which cowardly and restlessly wants to understand only its own. The small-minded individual has never had the courage of this God-pleasing venturesomeness of humility and pride, before God, to be oneself. For the accent rests upon before God, since this is the source and origin of all individuality. He who has dared to do this has authentic individuality, and has come to know what God has already given to him. In the same sense, he believes completely in the individuality of every single person. To have individuality is to believe in the individuality of every other person, for individuality is not mine, but is God's gift, by which he gives me being, and gives being to all, gives being to everything. It is simply the inexhaustible swell of goodness in the goodness of God that he, the Almighty, nevertheless gives in such a way that the receiver obtains individuality, that he who created out of nothing nevertheless creates individuality, so that creation over against him shall not be nothing, although it is taken from nothing and is nothing, and yet becomes individuality.